should be banished.
I have also removed their ninjutsu. But since they have been born a ninja, they die a ninja.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What is going on, traders? What's going on? Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we jump into anything trading related, make sure you read what's on the screen on this beautiful Monday, October 20th. I love to shout that out. Make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is very risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. Make sure you do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, bookmap, and others. Now, as I'm sure you guys are aware this morning, before we jump into anything, I just want to see if my screen is even loaded up. Yep, we are not, maybe. Yeah, we are not loading up here this morning. So if you guys aren't aware, there is a, I'm not going to leave that screen completely up. I'll pull up TradingView in a minute. But there is a Amazon AWS outage affecting a lot today. You might notice I'm only streaming on YouTube. My multi-stream provider is actually down, but it's affecting Project X across firms. Mine is not loading at all. So I'm going to read you guys a couple messages. I just got a notification from the Top 1 team. They are saying there's a massive AWS server outage, which is affecting Project X. The Project X team is looking into it. Our advice for the time being is to hold off with trading. So again, this is not specific to Top 1 Futures, specific to the platform. Again, I noticed it on my multi-stream provider, which has nothing to do with Project X or trading. I was like, why can't I, like, what's going on? Restarted everything, tested everything, and then I saw they were down. They had announcements out that they have their server being affected, being down. So we could go ahead and check this out on TradingView. Honestly, I use Project X primarily. I may look to jump into something on the live account today. We'll just have to frame out the trade on TradingView itself, which is not a problem. I just wanted to give this thing another second to try to load up. Yeah, not happening at all. Not happening at all. And I have access to other firms. I use other firms that use Project X, and it's the same thing at the other firms. So again, if you guys are hopping on late, make sure you are aware. Major issues from service providers that are affecting platforms. So if you decide to trade, like your Project X might load up. Here's what mine looks like, just for the record. This is my Project X dashboard right now, or chart. Not loading at all. Not loading at all. So if yours loads up, right, and you decide to trade, accept the increased risk that something may go wrong. You know, you might go back to the spinning wheel of death here. You might not have the opportunity to close a trade or manage a trade, right? Orders may be jacked up, so I would be cautious of this. Be really cautious of this. So I'm loading up TradingView real quick, guys. We'll take a look at the Dow chart on the 15-minute here on TradingView. Not at all what I like to do. I'm not going to be logged into an account on this one. Kind of similar to what I had to do last week when my account wasn't ready to be traded after taking a payout. But let's go ahead and get this loaded up. Boom. All right, guys, we'll watch this on let's see if we can see this clearly for now. We'll watch this on TradingView, right? We'll talk markets. We'll map out some trades. This is my TradingView chart. I do have real-time data or as close to real-time data as you can get with YM here on TradingView. Again, as soon as I get access to this, I'll pull back up Top 1 Futures on Project X, but mine's not loading at all, which is super frustrating because I would like to trade my live account today with Top 1 Futures. But part of it, man. And honestly, when this stuff happens, for the most part, guys, the safest thing to do is not trade. Like, as soon as it loads back up, you take a trade, and then, like, you know, it's pretty high chance that you're not going to be able to manage it. Something else is going to go wrong. So I'd be really cautious if you're trading at all, if you're just loading about it today. It's definitely not resolved. Definitely not resolved. And again, it's not just like Project X. It's across multiple platforms, different things. So I'd be super cautious. But what's going on, traders? Welcome back to the show, man. We'll be scoping out the markets. Market's getting ready to open up here. I'll frame out a trade. I might throw something on in the live account. We'll have to see, the personal live account. Yo, what's up, Tom? What's up, Wolf? Daily Tail, good morning. Dwayne, good morning. Purple Ninja Facts, good morning. Fast Money Formula. Cook Smith, Rhombus, Mad Moxie, JB. What's going on? 9 straight weeks of GC going up. Crazy time. Good morning. Edmonds, Jess. Yeah, AWS failing everybody today. Alan, what's up? Mine's loaded up. But sure, if it will happen to refresh. Not trading, though. Yeah, mine was loaded all morning. Just for the record, my Project X was loaded all morning. And I like to refresh everything right before I go live, like just in case, you know, that type of deal. Not loading at all. Just because I'm always happy to show you guys when stuff works for me. It doesn't work. I think a lot of streamers, that are partners and affiliates with different firms and platforms are gonna say, "Oh no, this is fine," or "Don't worry," or "Ba ba ba." Like, here's my Project X again, just to show you guys. This is Project X for me right now with Top 1 Futures. And again, I checked at other firms. Same thing. So we are checking out the market on TradingView here. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's jump into it. Market's opened up 9:30. Appreciate you guys hopping on. We'll see if we can get rolling. Live on YouTube only here today. No Kick, no X. My multi-stream provider is down, so we'll see. But here's what we got. Opening up to the upside. So taking a look really zoomed out on YM, which is what I trade off of the open, what I've been trading off of the open here. Might have a setup coming, actually. Pretty wild volatility coming off of Friday the 10th. This was gnarly tariff talks. We know what was going on there. I think we are still in that period of increased volatility, as you can see. If you scroll back over here and look at the 15-minute chart, here's all of your daily ranges, right? And your session ranges. Take a look at what this week's last 2 weeks looked like. Really gnarly volatility. A lot of volatility. So we are chopping a lot of back and forth movement. We are definitely not continuing to move lower. We've got this really big range set from this, Trump dump, sell-off on the China tariff news. We've kind of been inside of that to a degree. We did come up here and sweep it here. We didn't sweep the low, but we've kind of just been back and forth with some gnarly movement here on YM. So today opened up. Taking a look at this session. Opened up, gap up, came down. Overnight session. Asia, London, we pushed to the upside. London opened up. We sold off back down to VWAP. We got our temporary volume point of control right here that's forming on this current volume profile, which I don't really pay attention to. This is session volume profile. See, even on TradingView, I have some stuff that's not loading. Yeah, weird, man. But yesterday, we're looking at Friday. Nice big push to the upside overall. What we're looking at today for the open, potential trade setups for me on Dow. I think you guys know the way that I trade. If you're brand new, very simple reversion style trading here on Dow off of the open. Extremely simple. I find it to work very well for me. As we push to the upside here, this is looking really strong. I would prefer to be long versus short in this market overall, but I will take the shorts as they come. Could see a potential setup for, I'm not even going to start to mark this up. Could see a potential setup for a sweep of this daily candle high right here from the 16th. Decent area, right? If we scroll back, you can see price action, market structure, right? Highs and lows, tops and bottoms that were put in right across, let's say the 46,700s to 46,750s. Could see a short if we pop a little bit higher up there, right back down to VWAP, right back down to the top end of Friday's candle, back down into the 46,500s, right? Nice round psychological number. We might not get all the way up there, but that's what I would frame as a trade for a short to the downside first. Something along these lines, just to start to frame this. Something, yeah, it'd be nice to get a stop way out here. I think that would be really aggressive, and you'd be looking for a large movement. I probably wouldn't mind something like that. right back down to VWAP, back down to the top end of this this daily candle, something along these lines. If we came up around these 46,700s, 46,750s, could see a potential short. We might not do that. We might just be cracking this overnight session high right here and look to come back down. If we sell off, if we start to turn and sell off, going to be much more cautious because we opened up to the upside. It's really not a reversion play after we sweep a high and come down. That's my move. We are pushing the upside off of the open. So if we sold off, I'd be pretty cautious. I might try to find a way in for a continuation on something like that. I'd be waiting for a much larger movement to the downside to be looking for a buy. Again, we have somewhat of a range here, right? We have somewhat of a range here set that we've been pretty volatile back and forth between. This temporary volume point of control has kind of outlined the top end of it. Bottom of this crazy news catalyst candle would be outlining the bottom end of it. I like playing from the extremes, especially looking at the much higher time frame multi-week range, right? And on the lower time frame, right, more zoomed in on the 15-minute because I run my charts pretty zoomed out relative to what you see from other traders. From the extremes as well, right? Well, from out here. So let's see. Let's see if we get something that starts to set up. But yeah, as a whole, guys, if you don't have to trade today, which you shouldn't have to do anything, today's probably a good day to go touch some grass. It sucks when it happens, but we have widespread network issues. If you guys missed it, you hopped on late because I know people hop on and off, not to keep repeating it. Project X is down for me. I can't access it at all. I'm going to continue to try to load it up, and as soon as it loads up, I'll throw it back on the screen. Not loading for me at all across multiple firms, but with Top 1 Futures specifically. Not even giving me the spinning wheel of death, just a blank page. Show you guys again. And just a blank page here. That's all I'm getting for Top 1 Futures Project X. So, I've seen a lot of people wait and refresh, and then as soon as it comes back on, you throw a trade on, right? And then what happens? Of course, the thing goes dark again, and you can't manage the trade, and then you say, it's a platform outage, hit up support, I couldn't close my trade. Like, if you're in the middle of it, and you don't know that it's happening in the morning, I understand, and hopefully the firm does right by you. But if you know there's issues, like major issues affecting, a lot of different industries, but especially the one that you're on, and then as soon as you get access, you hammer it, and then, you blow an account, like, you're taking on increased risk today. So sucks when it happens. I'm not psyched about it at all. I would like to be trading on my account, but it happens, right? And again, my multi-stream provider's down. Nothing to do with trading. I was like, that was the first thing that was down for me this morning. I was like, what the heck's going on? So then I'm looking at, all the announcements. I saw some stuff overnight. Project X was working for me, but again, the announcement from, there's multiple announcements from all of them, but from Top 1, they're saying massive AWS server outage, which is affecting Project X. Project X team is looking into it. Our advice for the time being, hold off on trading, right? So the firm is now telling you, right, don't trade. So I would be cautious. Yeah, they are saying stay off the charts and opening and closing trades, until you get an update where it's up and running. They're saying don't trade. So that's the 2 cents. It sucks. I'm gonna be on here. I'm streaming with you guys, right? I'm gonna be watching the market, seeing if I can't find something. But yeah, this is pretty trash, unfortunately. It's it's super widespread. They're saying Snapchat, Canva, Amazon Alexa's not working, but AWS is obviously a big portion back end of the internet, and that being down is a problem. It's definitely a problem. So anyway, we'll watch it on TradingView, and I'll frame out the trade, right? I'm gonna show you guys exactly the trade that I'll be looking for. I'm probably gonna throw it on a personal live account. I talked a little bit about in Discord about shifting some focus to some side quests that I'm working on, but can't work on anything outside of this. So, But honestly, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm definitely cautious in my personal live account, and I don't know that my broker or platform is going to be affected at all. So, like, I really don't want to do anything stupid in a personal live account when I know there's widespread internet issues going on. So, I'll let you guys know. If it looks really appetizing and everything seems smooth on my end, I might take it. But, you know, I don't feel the need to take... Trading is inherently extremely risky, right? I don't feel the need to take trades when I know there's platform outages and all of a sudden, like, I might throw a trade on and my screen might go dark, right? Like, it just feels like you're pushing it. So, we'll see. We will see.
Imagine being able...
We will see. But appreciate you guys hopping on. We'll weather it together. As soon as it comes back on, I'll be trading with you guys. Just read messages as they come in. So, you know, when I get quiet, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'd be demo trading today, guys, if you don't have to trade. I'd be really cautious. Really cautious. Anyway, let's see. Mine's not loading up. Yeah, we talked about this. Tried changing symbols and it just spun. Yep. I'm all charged up my troll account. There you go. Yep, 3 to 4 million today on the demo account. Wolf. Big Frank, what's up? Emmanuel, what's up? Project X won't work on Top Step. Yeah, correct. Project X not working. We talked about this. Doesn't work. Yeah, it's Project X. It's not the firm. You guys are saying Bull Knox. Yeah, full port demo time. There you go. I know Project X isn't working. Zach, question: what will happen to once you took trades in a live account? I understand rectifying sim accounts. What happens to live? I don't know, man. You know, I don't know. I've had issues in the Forex market, platform issues with a live, you know, personal live broker, and it was really like not rectified. And I've heard plenty of stories of people that have had issues, right? And, you know, like, there's no resetting hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? You know, so if there's a connection issue, for the most part, you know, it's on you as a trader to have protective stops, protective take profits, to not be able to manage a trade if something goes dark. I think, like, if they acknowledge that there's a crazy, like, misfill or anything like that, I think they would try to work with you. But for the most part, you know, if you're trading a live account, there's not too much to be done. Like, there's really not too much to be done. I think certain really crazy instances, different brokerages and platforms might try to do something for you. But I had it personally happen to me. One suggestion would be, if you ever have anything that's an issue when you're trading, whether it's in a sim account or a live account, and I didn't do this, immediately start taking screenshots and screen recording. Like, immediately document what's happening, right? Because what happened in that instance is I reached out to the broker and platform and said, hey, I had this issue. And they're like, okay, show us what happened. And I'm like, well, this is what was happening. They're like, okay, show us. So I would really encourage you, if you start to have any issue, you're in a trade, your platform's not loading, whatever it is, like, it sucks to have to do this. But I would start screen recording immediately. I would be screen recording what was happening. I would refresh. I would demonstrate the issue. I would make sure the date showing, the time showing, indisputable, you know, that it's happening. I would make sure you show that you have good internet, other platforms are working, like, in the same video. This way you can really kind of, like, you know, ask for help after the fact. But yeah, for the most part, no, you're not gonna, you know, if you're in a live account and you have an issue, a platform issue, I would say you're probably not gonna get help. You know, there's no putting money back in an account. So, but as a whole, also, like, this is a reason why it's really important, in my opinion, if you're in an account that you care about at all, even though these are extremely uncommon situations, you want to have a stop loss in place. You want to maybe have a take profit in place if you don't want to just let the thing run, which I don't always have, because you don't know. You don't know when AWS goes out and all of a sudden, like, all of these, you know, huge piece of the internet is just down, right? At least at your broker, at your platform, there's an order in to, a protective stop, or maybe a personal daily loss limit, personal daily profit target to prevent anything crazy going on, right? These are kind of like, circuit breakers, right? Fail safes for when things go, haywire. So I think that's super important, super important. It's a good topic to talk about today, right? Because it's happening. It's happening right now. But as a trader, right? And most guys get super pissed. They throw their hands up. Like, we're dealing with internet-based, cloud-based services, man. We are reliant on internet service, on power. I think about that as a trader if you're going to get serious about it, especially if you're going to have thousands of dollars on the line in live accounts for intraday trading. Like, you really want to think about that. I have 2 internet service providers. Not that always helps me. I have backup power sources, that type of stuff. Not that always helps me. But you want to try to think about worst case scenarios, right? You want to be able to log in a mobile platform and use, mobile data to manage a trade, to try to access if something else is down, maybe on your computer, or if your computer just craps out completely. Like, how would you potentially manage that? These are things to think about if you're going to be serious. Hey, Zach, there was an outage around 1 p.m. How am I supposed to get evidence for that? Yeah. So Sammy asked that question. For the most part, I've seen most prop firms help traders out, right? I've seen Top One Futures do it. I've seen other Project X platforms do it. Not so much on so many other ones, to be honest, platform-wise. When they acknowledge that, like, something affected everything, they've given accounts back, they've given profit back, they've given resets out, they've given fresh accounts, multiple different firms. I've seen them do this. But not always, man. Not always. And I think it's really important to try to build evidence around, if you have, like you said, how do I build evidence for that? Because they're going to ask you what happened. You hope they do right by you, but again, this is a inherent risk that we take on. You want to try to find a reliable platform, to trade with as well. So I don't love seeing an outage for Project X, but super widespread. So let's see. Watching this thing push to the upside, I did say into the 46,700s, 46,750s for a potential short back down to VWAP. I'm going to frame this out with you guys. I would really like to get a trade on, but I'm still watching this. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put myself in this situation. I'm not going to try it. I'm not going to try it. I'm going to frame out the exact trade for today. What I'd be looking at when I'd be hitting the sell button. We're pushing to the upside, right off of VWAP, right? Strong bullish move to the upside, but I'm going to look to fade this. And again, it's going to be a paper trade. I can't access Project X. I think you guys know I like to trade live here, showing you live executions and everything. This is going to just be a trade with a damn take profit and stop loss in. I'll call out how I would have potentially managed this, but I'm not looking to take this risk on in my live account either. I don't want that situation. I do not want that situation where it lets me get into a trade and then I can't manage, or you're trying to call a broker to take you out, that type of stuff. It's not cool at all. Of course, then you worry if your stop loss actually is going to fill. You worry if your take profit's going to fill. Was that translated? All that type of stuff. But I'd be looking for, we got really close. I'd be looking for a little sweep above this level. Maybe into the mid 700s, 46,700s, for a sell right back down to VWAP. I think that could be pretty sweet. We might start to turn from down here, but this is what I'd be looking at for a short on Dow. But it's Monday. Welcome to the show, everybody. Crazy internet issues. Let's see. You can make marble racing to work. Yeah. Top of Futures has an alternate trade platform. There you go. Redundancy is key, and to have a stop loss. Yep. Could have a power outage and your internet. Yep. Morning, Tommy. You can get a power generator for your computer. Yep. Uninterruptible a UPS. UPS, right? Uninterruptible power source is pretty cool. If you guys don't know what that is, it's kind of like a little tower that sits, and it essentially is constantly plugged into the wall, has some battery backup power. It's got these nice big heavy ass batteries, and you plug all of your you plug your modem into that, your router, you plug your computer, everything runs through that. And then if power goes out, you have a limited amount of time where all of that just stays online. It's exactly what it sounds like, uninterrupted or uninterruptible power source. Those are pretty sweet to have, right? It's not a generator that just continues to generate power, but it has these batteries that stay fully charged where you can run maybe for a couple hours, if everything flashed out, right? Better than just like a that type of deal. Yeah, hang on. I'll tell you the brand that I have. It's from Office Max. Not to, just to be clear. We had them at, honestly, I learned about them at my last company. We had them at the office, and I'm down here in Florida. If you guys don't know, I'm based out of Florida. We have hurricanes all the time. Sometimes just crazy winds. As soon as that stuff starts to kick off, everything goes down. So it's really important to have that type of redundancy, right? Like even at my office, I learned about having 2 internet sources, right? If one goes down and you still have power, you got another internet, right? I'm going to tell you the brand. APC. APC is the UPS, uninterrupted or uninterruptible power source. Like $200, right? Like $200. Here, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about, just for fun. While we're just sitting here waiting to see if we get a little pop above where maybe I would snag a short, which I think we might. These are pretty sweet. These are pretty sweet. Again, essentially what it is you plug all of your SHIT into the back of it, everything that matters, and you get quite a bit of power out of it, right? When your power dies or maybe it flashes or, whatever it is, one of these bad boys can save you. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. For internet, if your internet goes out, and having power is not going to help you. The backup internet that I was running for a really long period of time, I've disconnected, but I do have one separate one. It's not technically a hardwired internet, but it is a backup Wi-Fi. Yeah, and then generators, obviously, just full generators. Good morning, everybody. We're hanging out here live. If you guys missed it, if you missed what we were talking about, Project X is out right now. Completely out of commission. This is what happens when I try to load up Project X on Top 1 Futures or with any other firm. I do have accounts at another Project X firm, which I really don't actively promote or talk about too much, but it's the same thing. Widespread AWS, Amazon outage affecting the internet. My multi-stream provider was down today. I thought that was kind of interesting to see. But allegedly, a whole bunch of other major companies have outages today. I'd be extremely cautious. If whatever platform you're on is working, I'd be super duper cautious. And my live account technically is all up and running. Broker looks good. Platform looks good. I'm not gonna try my luck. I'm not gonna try my luck. Project X was working for me until right before I hopped on the live. So if I put a trade on, for example, in pre-market today, I would not be able to manage the trade at all in a prop firm live account. In a personal live account where the risk is even higher, I'm not gonna test it. Don't need to try my luck. The market's not going anywhere. Maybe today's a huge, massive missed opportunity, but you have to weigh risks on this type of stuff and decide whether or not it's worth it. And for right now, it's not worth it for me. So we'll see. But outside of that, we're hanging out. Couple quick plugs for you guys that are on here. And again, we're YouTube only today. I'm not on X or Kick because I can't multi-stream. My multi-stream provider's down. couple quick plugs for you guys. We got 55% off Top 1 futures. One of the best deals in the instant funded prop firm space. 55% off with code RDF. No minimum trading days to payout. You meet the profit target. You meet the consistency rule. Heavy opportunity here, guys. Copy trading up to 5 of the 25K and 50K. 3 of the 100K and the 150K. Excellent opportunity, in my humble opinion. I just did a video. I'm dropping another one later today. But I just did a video comparing Top 1 futures against one of the other larger instant funded firms, showing you some of the differences. Again, guys, I'm biased. I'm partnered. I'm affiliated, like I said at the beginning. Important to note that can't be unbiased if I stand to make money, which I do, which means you got to do your own research and make your own decisions. And while I can't even show Project X, I'll plug this one. If you guys like what you see over here on the left-hand side, this is bookmap. This is my favorite order flow tool, showing us live liquidity in the market. Resting orders, live, above and below price. If you guys want to check this out, link is in the chat. This deal's still running. Honestly, I was like sleeping on this one, but you can get 3 months of Global Plus for $147. It's usually $100 a month. I think 3 months is a pretty solid option to try it out. Ooh, starting to get a turn out of ES here. Pretty sweet platform if you want to check out the depth of market. If you want to check out, a DOM, order flow, you want to start to try to consider different volume tools in your trading. I think this stuff can be really, really interesting. And I love the way Bookmap displays it. Is it any magic tool? Is it something that you need to make money trading? No, just like anything else, right? A more advanced tool. Here's YM. A more advanced tool, but it does give you things that the candlestick chart will not. Gives you live liquidity. It tells me right now at 46,660, we got 44 orders resting sell side on YM, right? Also able to get some more advanced volume tools like cumulative volume delta down on the bottom, which I do like to pay attention to, especially for ES. No. What was my plugs while we're hanging out? There's the turn, man. There's the turn. So we didn't get this high, right? Unfortunately, didn't get this high. Here's what I was looking for, right into the. Did we trade the 700s? Nope. Wanted the 700s, 750s for a short back down, but this is the type of movement that I look for out of YM. Just didn't get my area of interest hit. Didn't get my entry point hit. But here you go. I think we got a really good chance to come back down, tap VWAP, come right below this 9:15 a.m. 15-minute candle. Which would be 150 to 200 points out of Dow, right? This is the simple movement that I look for off the open. Really, really, really simple to trade. It's aggressive, and it's typically aggressively counter to the movement, so you will get your face ripped off sometimes, right? Fading a big bullish pop at the open, but you'll get stopped out trading continuations, I feel, oftentimes just as much if you trade breakouts off the open. So hold on, trade of 5 versus top 1 futures payouts is 654 on all. Top 1 futures video, you said only. What's up, Muhammad? He said only had a 6%. So what's the parity with the other firm? I'll have to check exactly what you're saying, but are you saying that I sold I missed something on top 1 that was an advantage that I wasn't I make these charts for it and I try to really be super accurate, but I think what you're saying is you only said 6%. You said in the video you could withdraw unless you have 6%. Oh, let me see real quick. Sorry, guys. Hang on. Here's the video, by the way. If you guys want to check it out, maybe after you hop off the live, but I'll throw this one in here. Hang on real quick. Wow, even YouTube like tripping out. Wow, even YouTube is tripping a little bit, and I would assume that they're not having any problem. All right, I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check it out after, but I think Oh, okay. Okay. On second. Yeah. Did I not say that? Did I not say that in the video though? I got to go back and look, but maybe I only threw on, because I didn't go into, essentially I kept the video based around the first payout, right? There's certain things that happen with all firms after your first payout, right? Like the payout quantity, the amount that you have to make, the consistency rule on the firm being compared against Tradeify, the consistency rule changes, it widens out. So maybe I didn't put in parentheses. I only said 6%. I messed that one up. All right, I'm gonna have to do the update. Thank you, Trader Julie Kate. I thought for your second payout, you got 5%. Yes, yeah, yep. I got to do an update. No, all good. It's good. I sold. I sold top one short. I'll have to do the update on it. It's okay. Maybe I'll have an editor clip something in. Yeah, but check that one out. If you want to put two firms side by side, looking at what I would say are some of the most competitive instant funded offerings in the space. But partnered, affiliated, make sure you do your own research, make your own decisions. But yeah, I'll have to go back and take a look at that one. Not an advantage of the other company. Nice. Yeah, still watching this thing down. Yeah, this is going to just be a hangout day, I think, guys. Here is giving you the live updates on my end. This Project X for me, guys. Not a whole lot of trading that's going to be done on that one. Yeah, just reading some updates. Yeah, so just for the record, for Top 1 Futures, since I'm always trying to give updates, they have a form. They have a form live now on their end. If you had an issue today, they have a form to keep track specifically with issues today. So if you had an issue trading on Top 1 Futures on Project X today, October 20th, they've got a form to fill out that they're posting in their chat right now. It's in their main Discord. It's under announcements. You don't even have to go through support for it. You can just post it in there. I will actually throw this in my main chat in Discord as well. I'll do it after the live. But yeah, I'll just be cautious today, guys. I'll be cautious. Would not trade. Would not be trading it. Would not be trading it. So we're hanging out, watching to see if we get a nice, beautiful paper trade on. Since we've got Amazon taking out half the internet, we got a ton of people on. Appreciate you guys being on. We're doing giveaways all week. No guarantees on what we got coming up today. No crazy guarantees. But we're doing giveaways all week in the live streams. I'll be here trading live with you guys, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. So long as I can actually trade live with the platforms that I'm set up with. But I'm going to keep you guys updated. Sometimes like it gets resolved pretty quickly, so I'm kind of hoping that it flips back on. Again, there's risks of jumping right back in and taking trades if there's been a platform issue all day, and then as soon as it loads up, you're like, okay, great. You know, smash some minis on the chart, and then all of a sudden it doesn't load, you know? So we'll see. But for now, watching to see what this market does here. This was looking like a really nice turn back down towards VWAP. We're coming back up towards this high. No entry for me. Without a sweep of this level here. We got really close, but I wanted a nice push into the 46,700s to 750s, right? Somewhere up here. Haven't gotten that just yet. Let's see. Yeah, we're talking about that. Thank you for the that's a good correction. That's a good correction. Neo, do you like to trade YM more than ES? You know, Neo, these days I've really been enjoying trading YM. Really been enjoying trading Dow. Mostly because my data supports it. My P&L is liking me trading Dow, right? That's the main reason. I try not to fight my data. I try not to fight when I have something showing that something's working really well for me, and maybe I'm underperforming on another asset. But I do like trading Dow. I don't think it's the common thing to. It's obviously not the common thing to trade, right? Everybody trades NQ, I'd say, for the most part. In the intraday's futures trading space, especially on prop firms, NQ is the favorite. I think ES would probably be second to that, maybe gold. YM is kind of the black sheep, but I like it. Very simple movement off the open that I look for, or even pre-market and throughout the day, really. It is more of a mean reversion move that I'm looking for in general. I think a continuation trade would be secondary to that. It's not that they don't occur and I don't take them, but it's mostly a reversion, a back to VWAP style play, really simply. And I think I can find good ways to structure risk and capitalize on that movement for Dow. It can be aggressive. It can be really wicky. When you're wrong, you're often really wrong on Dow. When you're right, you're often really right. But I think it comes down to preference. I get asked this all the time. What's the best thing to trade? What should I trade? What's it? It comes down to preference. Really comes down to preference. I think NQ versus ES is the big debate. NQ, much more volatile, much more momentum, much more wicky, overshooty, and this is just subjective, right? It's just my opinion. ES, slower moving, sometimes like watching paint dry, tighter trending, cleaner respecting of levels and trends. YM, maybe somewhere in the middle, but different, but quite different movement out of YM. I would say if you have something that works maybe between NQ and ES, it's probably not going to be too similar on YM. It just seems to live in its own world. And then gold, right? You have plenty of options, crude oil, forex pairs. I think it comes down to preference. So don't be swayed by what everybody else is trading. I think plenty of traders would do much, much better off of NQ, but they only trade NQ because that's what's in front of them. And I'm guilty of that, right? I trade YM because I learned it as US 30 because that's what people that I was watching and other traders were doing, right? I think if everybody in this market, in this space was trading gold, we'd probably all be trading gold, right? A lot of monkey see, monkey do. But don't be afraid to trade something that is not the popular one, like Dow, like YM, if it starts to work really well for you, if you have something that's paying you, right? Lead into it, capitalize on it, That's my thought. Future ad cap trading. Where did you take my if I can't enter a trade? If you can't enter a trade, don't trade. Yeah. What's up, Andrew? What's up, guys? Yeah, we got a ton of people on. Again, guys, if you hopped on late, widespread outage for the internet, which sounds like crazy to say. But multiple companies, multiple providers having issues. Project X being one of them across multiple firms, but Top 1 Futures being one of them. I cannot access Project X right now. I keep showing it because I like to show you guys when I have an issue, when I don't. And a lot of times when other people seem to have issues on Project X, like it's working smooth for me. I don't know. I always just try to be honest about it. Not today. Here is my, I have no special privileges on being able to access the platform today. Here's Project X for me. But again, guys, this is across firms. I'm able to check it across one other firm that I have accounts with. I had multiple people in the chat, and I could see from their Discord saying that there's no access. Other providers, like my multi-stream provider, is completely down. It's a paid service, not loading at all, like the just complete site down. So I'd be cautious. I would be really cautious if you're trading on Project X. If you're trading with any other platform, especially if you're in live accounts, I'd be really cautious today. Obviously, there's a lot being affected, and maybe you're more educated on the tech side, and if something's not affected at all, it's completely safe. But I find days like today, as soon as you load back up, you try to get involved, you run in a really high risk that it comes right back and is an issue. And like we talked about, for the most part, prop firms, I've seen platforms try to do a really good job doing right by the trader. If there's an issue, clearing out bad trades, trying to help out, resets, fresh accounts, if it's on their side. But I will say, once it's an ongoing problem, and they've said, like Top 1 Futures now has multiple announcements tagging everybody, multiple things saying do not trade, widespread issue, here's the form to fill out, here's the process to come through. If you continue to try to hammer it and your issue comes at 12 o'clock, I think there's going to be less help, right? It probably starts to be less help. That's just my 2 cents. If you do have an issue, like I talked about, on any platform, and I didn't do this, I would screen record and take screenshots as it's happening. You can't always do that, right? It sucks to have the burden on us, but I've been in a live account in the Forex side, and I didn't do that. And I just started hitting their support up rather than screen recording and showing the time, the date, showing other platforms that are loading, and then showing the issue happening, in real time. At least you create some documentation to say, hey, this is on you guys. Here's everything else working. Here's the date. Here's the time. Here's it not working, right? Again, we can't always do that, but I think that's a good tip. And I, like an idiot, a long time ago, and it cost me money, did not do that. Just started complaining to their support, and they're like, okay, show us what's happening. What happens with Project X? AWS, Amazon services, some service provider, Amazon, which is a huge back-end portion of the internet, is having a major issue today. And across a ton of big platforms, big companies, is down. Like a lot. Hop on Twitter, hop on YouTube, hop on Google, just Google like internet problem, and you're going to see it pop up. Here, ready? Let's talk about it. I'll do it myself. Top stories. Amazon Web Service outage affecting global websites. Huge global outage. This is from CNN. Let's talk about it real quick. Amazon Web Services says issue mitigated as sites hit by global internet outage, but that's not happening so far. Yeah, like millions of reports of outages. Yeah, we're talking like cryptocurrency exchanges, AI firms, airlines, banks, a lot of outages. They're saying as of now, it's been mitigated. I still can't load up Project X. We'll see, but major outage, huge global outage affects Amazon. Snapchat down, many well-known internet service sites down. We'll see. They're saying a lot mitigated, but I don't know. Web services begin to recover after major outage take place. This is coming in like a couple minutes ago, so we'll see. But yeah, that's what happens. Everything from Snapchat to McDonald's to Amazon's Ring doorbell cameras, gaming platforms, Roblox, Fortnite. Sketchy, man. Sketchy when stuff like that happens. Wow. United Airlines, T-Mobile, McDonald's. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. It's gnarly. So, yeah. But that's part of it, guys. Part of it's web services. So, I'd be cautious again. I'd be really, 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 really cautious if you are trading today. Even if it's outside of Project X, I would be really cautious. I think you're running risk. You're running an increased risk today. So anyway, I'm hanging out with you guys. We're watching the markets. We're talking a lot about it. I'm talking a lot about it because my Project X won't load and I can't trade my my prop accounts. When I can, I'll keep you guys updated. But so far, market-wise, because we've really been completely off topic, not for trading, but market-wise, taking a look at this. For the off the open trade, what I was looking at, if I was framing a short today, is this going to load nicely for me? Somewhere right above this level, right? This would be my area of interest, like I called out multiple times. 46,700s to 46, I said 750s, right? Somewhere right up into this area, I'd be looking for a really, really aggressive short. Why? Right? Why? I think based on historical price action, market structure, volume, right? Oftentimes, Dow pulls a very big impulsive move off of the open and then comes back to the area of high volume before continuing to do whatever it wants to do for the day. And I try to exploit that market movement, right? Maybe a little bit of an anomaly, a pattern that repeats itself. Does it repeat itself every day? Does it happen like magic? Is it always going to provide wins? Absolutely not. There's going to be plenty of times where we take off and we just rip right through in one direction, right? If you could see a zone like this today, pretty clean area where, I mean, this is going way, way, way back into historical data, but you can see where this area of interest has come into play with multiple impulsive moves on Dow, right? I don't go back and look through like this. It's just not typically what I do. But if you want some added confirmation of an area of interest coming into play multiple times on prior days, I find that relevant. I do find that that has, you know, a level of a significance when you are identifying a zone. But what I really like to look at, to keep it stupidly simple, is prior days volume profiles, right? This is session volume profile on here. Visible range volume profile. Basic market structure and price action. VWAP, a little bit of volume down on the bottom. That's the only tools on my chart. I really don't even mark my chart these days. There's the bare minimum chart markup today, and any day going forward. If we sold off really aggressively, really aggressively, right, after putting this bullish movement in, where would I be looking for a potential buy? You know, I think way down here into prior days, volume point of control. Maybe all the way down here where we've got a lot of lows, impulsive moves, right? Bottoms that were put in. Maybe all the way down here that would have provided a pretty big daily range, right? And a session range. And I could look to fade something like that, pushing to the upside. Yeah, so area of interest to the downside, probably down here, right? Into the low end of this area of high volume on the visible range volume profile. Multiple overlapping volume points of control below this area, but below these lows where we took off after this, you know, nice crazy news print on Friday. I would potentially be looking long in here. Am I just going to buy off of a level like this or sell off of a level like this? No. A little bit of discretion comes into play, right? I look at what happens as we come up here. But that's what I'll be looking at for today, and was looking at and continue to look at, right? You could pretty much watch me trade Dow for, I think, a week, and the next week you should be able to have a really good idea based on that morning where I'm looking to short and where I'm looking to long. I've been pretty aggressive on my risk management, my trade management, as far as not really adjusting to this volatility. I've really just increased risk and inherently tightened up stops by not widening out a lot. But I do run a pretty wide stop loss in general on Dow. Couple hundred points. Dow moves a lot during the day. I mean, take a look at these, you know, these daily ranges here. You know, we're talking, this is volatile, right? Very volatile compared to what we've got. But, you know, we're talking over 500 points, you know, really around that 700 point, you know, obviously a massive one on Friday over here. Massive. But there's a lot to be captured, right? And I'm not trading on the 1 minute chart looking for 20 points, right? We're looking for, you know, 100, 150, 200, 300 points. So pushing off the open and then kind of coming back down to settle. If I take a look around the horn with you guys, we got pretty similar price action out of NQ and ES. Interesting. Very similar. They're all really moving in unison today. Popped off the open and then have really settled up there. Dow pulled the biggest move back down towards VWAP, which it typically does. That's the move that I'm trading for. But has since popped right back up, and now maybe we get a turn from up here. Not quite coming up above this high from Thursday. Nice sweep above overnight session high by 100 points, but not beautiful. Nothing too crazy. too crazy. Yep. By the way, folks, happy Dolly to everyone here. Nice, man. Nice. We got the holiday season coming up for everybody. I love it. Hey, someone stole my crown. Frustrating. Jarvis says, frustrating, but it's a paper trading kind of day. Yeah, paper trading kind of day. I agree with all these technical issues. Great info providing technical issues. I'll start recording the issues and then contact support with evidence. Yep. This is where the idea of using different firms and different platforms really hits home. Yep. Yep, Wolf is in his practice account. He's in $300,000 worth of drawdown, and now he's up $400,000 worth of drawdown. Yeah. Freeze X, what's up, guys? What's up? We're hanging tight. Seeing if we can't grab something on paper here. We've got multiple issues going on behind the scenes with Project X. Interesting to see some of those sites saying mitigated, but I don't have an update from Top One or anybody saying that everything's fixed. You know, as you guys see it, let me know. You know what's crazy? Not that I look at the Mag 7, but only like during a day like today, Amazon's like green 1%. Amazon stock up on a day where like a huge portion of the entire internet is down because of their outage. So funny, man. Really funny. Really funny. But we're hanging tight, guys. TradingView working. TradingView's pretty clean today. Looks like it's lining up. My data providers are working from bookmap. That's pretty solid. Both bookmap data and rhythmic data. No issues there. NQ is crazy psycho ex-girlfriend. She'll go up now that I think about it. Yeah. RX7 Trade says Project X trash. Nah, I don't agree. I love Project X. I'm a big Project X fanboy. I was a Project X fanboy as soon as it launched. I love an integrated TradingView chart. I like the tools. I think there's definitely room for improvement there. There's definitely things that I don't like. You could say, Zach, you're biased because you promote a firm that only offers Project X, so of course you're going to say that. But I am a huge proponent of the firm that I'm with, and I actively talk to them about it, offering other platforms, which I think they do, because I think it's a preference. I think it's important for traders to have a choice. I will acknowledge Project X, since they've launched, right, with Top Step back in the day. I've used them as soon as I was able to get access to the platform. They have issues, right? They have issues. The platforms has gone down. I've seen issues, where other platforms haven't had them. But I will acknowledge that I've also seen a lot of traders have issues with other platforms, and I've had them myself. Is it any more or less at Project X? I think that's up to the individual. But today, not a specific Project X issue. Not when banks and airlines and healthcare providers are having the same issue, right? Kind of widespread. I think it demonstrates maybe a weak point with Amazon services, maybe, or just having so much tied together. It's kind of sketchy when something like this happens. But it's preference, right? People talk about issues with slippage, with fills, different things on Project X. I love Project X. I really do. I hate trading off of it. I don't like it. But that's just preference. It's because I like a TradingView chart. It's because I was born and raised on TradingView, right? And if you were born and raised on Tradeovate or Ninja, for example, I'm sure you prefer that. Your eyes are trained on it. You're comfortable. You find it to be, feeling like home. I think it's preference. And here's my 2 cents here, right, guys? Go with what you find to be reliable, but go with what you're best on. And this is talking about different platforms. If you put me even just, it's so simple, but if you put me on a chart, like a chart that I've never used before, a platform that I've never used before, like I was testing Motive Wave for my personal brokerage, with all of the chart, the candles looking different, the tools looking different, the way that it prints, the feel of it, where the buttons are, how you manage your trades, all of it is completely different. I'm going to perform worse than if you put me in the platform that I've been trading on for years, right? This is the same as if you put a race car driver, right? A number one Formula One driver in somebody else's car. They are not winning. They're in dead last, right? It's the same stuff. It's all extremely similar, but it's not. The cockpit's completely changed. The buttons are in the wrong place. Everything feels different. The look is different. Everything is different, right? I think that's important to think about as a trader. You want to be flexible. You want to be, able to adjust, but you do want to settle into something and train your eyes on one thing, right? I think you see that from a lot of big traders. They love one platform. Like whatever they use, you see them use it day in and day out, right? Like if they're bookmap guys, they got bookmap running. It's set up the same every day. They've been watching bookmap for years. They got that intuition, that implicit memory built out, that discretion built around it. So, find what works for you. Right, that's the 2 cents. And maybe that's not Project X. Maybe it's Tradeovate. And hopefully, very, very, very soon, hopefully, Top 1 Futures is going to have Tradeovate. Very soon. Anyway, guys, while we're talking about it, hanging out with you guys, here's the deal that's running from Top 1 Futures. If you want to check it out, I'm going to throw the link in chat. 55% off. No minimum trading days to pay out. Better than the email, better than the website, better than the Discord. You get yourself 55% off and no minimum trading days to pay out. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Crazy, though. Crazy, crazy day. Yeah, pushing to the upside here. Looking strong across the U.S. indices. I don't think that I'd be shorting this. Don't think that I'll be shorting this. Here was the pop to the upside, and then a little bit further a pop, and then a pull all the way back down to VWAP. We sold off almost 130 points, right around 130 points off that high. Now we've got a big bullish bar and to push higher here. Don't know that I'd be looking to short this really aggressively off of this zone for a move back to VWAP. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like as we start to come higher here. Checking bookmap on ES, and we got a lot of orders up there. 46,800 on Dow. Wow. Wow. This looks strong, man. Very positive CVD on ES, growing as we are pushing back up to the upside here. But I'll frame out the trade that I'd be looking for. It's coming up. Take a look at the top end of this zone, 46,750s for a potential reversion trade. Let's see. Me too. Project X is a good platform. Yeah, it's a newer platform. What's up, Relaxing Zen. Jordan, what's up? They got too big. Damn, loading, nearly missed the stream. They got to, we're talking about maybe Amazon. Here we are into the 46,700s. I'll be waiting for a little bit further of a crack to the upside on this, and then looking to throw a short on. I just get sketched out when this is not, it's trading related because Project X isn't working today because of the outage, but how is so much tied together on the back end? Dang, man, that's one thing starts to have an issue and all of those things, banks and trading platforms and stream providers and airlines and travel and healthcare stuff, that's sketchy, man. That's really sketchy. Really sketchy. Just checking it again. Checking it again. 46,700s. 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 46,700 No. Still not working for me. No. Nope. Still not working for me. Across firms. I'll keep you guys updated. If you're not in my free Discord, it's pinned to the top of this chat. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll be watching it today. As soon as it starts to come back online, I'll be updating you. If you had an issue with Top 1 Futures and Project X today specifically, go to their Discord. They have a form, specific form to get filled out. And I would get in line for that if you had an issue today. But in case you're living under a rock this morning, huge number of sites down for a widespread Amazon and AWS issue. Damn, man. Snapchat, Zoom, Roblox, Clash Royale, MyFitnessPal, Life360, a ton of games. Canva, Signal, Coinbase had an issue, Slack. Damn, crazy. So yeah, what I do like about Top 1 Futures is their team is always on it, like really, really early, letting people know. They had messages last night. Talking about it.
This is the story of the one. As a
Let's see how this area of interest comes into play today, chat. Let's see how the magic area of interest comes into play. Again, looking short in this area, right, from the 46,700s to the 46,750s. Like I said, maybe towards the top end of that zone for a better entry. I do not have access to my Top 1 Futures live account. I don't have access to my other prop accounts. I do have access to my live personal account, not to repeat myself too many times, but I don't think that I'm going to put risk on. I haven't researched if that broker or platform or that data connection is having issues. It seems like half of the internet had an issue this morning, so I don't feel like testing my luck. If I have to lose money, I want it to be because I lost the money, not because I took a good trade and I wasn't able to manage it or my stop loss didn't get put in. Or I think that stuff is, again, really uncommon, but I don't love to take on additional risks if I don't have to. But we're chilling here live with you guys. Strong market, man. Strong market. Amazon stock up 1%. Crazy, dude. Crazy. Yeah, so just looking at ES, right? ES not quite back to the high of that Friday death candle, that insane move to the downside. What a huge play out of that one. Incredible. Looking at NQ, higher time frame structure, approaching it. Kind of breaking out of this zone that has been forming, but again, these are very correlated, but ES in a nice range. But they do live in their own worlds, at least in my humble opinion. I think it's a good time to force traders to hold their trades. So many times I have closed early only to have price hit my mark. Yeah, man. Most traders struggle with that. Most traders don't hold their winning trades. Most traders hold their losing trades and continue to move their stop losses away, and they cut their winners short, and they don't even hold to the take profit, let alone moving the take profit away. Right? You might have done that before. You might have felt that as you were trading early on, the desire to do that. And it's the exact wrong thing to do. It's the reason that starting out, so many traders are unprofitable. It's one of the reasons, right? Hogarth talks about a lot about that in his book, and it comes from watching traders behind the screens for a long period of time. If you haven't read Best Loser Wins, I think it's a great one. It explains that a lot. Talks about most traders having a nice positive win rate, right? Picking good trades, But when it comes time to hold on to their winners, they were constantly taking profits early, and they would hold on to their losers into blown accounts or massively outsized losses. It's being hopeful when you should be fearful, and fearful when you should be hopeful. We have a very unique mindset around risk, financial risk, and it's the opposite of what we need to do. It's the direct opposite of what we need to do. If you're struggling with that, my 2 cents on how to start to beat that, set it and forget it. Set it and forget it. There's a bunch of different comments. The Walmart trade, right? Al Brooks talked a lot about that. It's just a huge thing that traders have to overcome. They cannot hold on to their winning trades. He called it taking the Walmart trade. Put your trade on, set a take profit and stop loss, and leave and go to Walmart, and then come back and see what happened. There's a little bit of inherent risk in there doing that. Maybe set an alert near where your orders are supposed to fill, just so you can double check. But if you're not able to manage your trades well, and you're constantly finding that, and you can see that in your data, right? Go back and review, adjust your trade management. We talk about it a lot on here, but it's one of the most basic ones. The one thing keeping me alive is that I've gotten over the move the stop loss. Yeah. Thanks to Wolf, I picked up Tom Hogarth's book. Nice. Zach, how exactly do you find trading? You have a friend or someone introduce you or what? Rhombus, I got a video for you, my man. Got a nice video for you. Hang tight. Hang tight, chatty chat. Actually, I'm gonna give you this. Hang on, because I got a bunch of. Ooh, I was gonna say. I wonder if my site was down. I wonder if my personal site was down. It's not. Look at that. I guess there's no Amazon tied into this. Rhombus asks about how did I find trading? A friend, somebody introduce you. I'm giving you guys my site right there, realdealfutures.com. On the bottom of that site, it's kind of like a link tree where it's just links. On the bottom of that site, I have multiple podcasts listed. I have a Prop Firm Roundtable with ASFX, a bunch of other traders. I have the Day Trading Show with Austin Silver, and that's the one where I would recommend you watch that one first if you want to know about my intro into trading, my start, kind of the backstory, things that I struggled with, things that were important to me. I also have an interview with BK Traders, Boris Schlalsberg. I got a couple more coming up. Got another one coming up, and I got a couple more out there. But if you want to check one out, rather than me just go through and give you the whole spiel, check out the Day Trading Show with Austin Silver. It was the first podcast that I did, the first interview that I did a while ago. But I think I could do a good job of kind of breaking down the early intros, right? The struggle, kind of my way in. Yeah, guys, so here's what I'd be looking at here. All right, here's what I would be looking at, which, again, Project X is down with all firms. Here's what I'd be looking at. Let's say we took it. Let's say we took it right at the, let's say I got in a little bit early. Let's say we took it at the 45s. Or can we get the 50s? Let me see if we get the 50s. Yeah, and let's say we go with a roughly 200 point stop and a 300-point take profit. Let's say we run a short like this. We get a stop loss way outside of this high up here. That's hella wide. I don't know that you really need to let it come all the way up there to let you know that you're dead wrong. But this is probably what I'd be looking at today if I was able to actually take a damn trade with Project X being down. Really wide take profit, but I'd be wanting to hold this thing all the way back through VWAP, at least back down into this area here. But for the sake of this this position tool that I'm putting on, I'm going to say for a paper trade that we got in at the 46,750s, top end of this zone. Again, marked this out earlier if you were hanging out. We ran a 200-point stop loss and a 300-point take profit. We'll see how that plays out. Again, guys, this isn't worth a damn. I don't paper trade on the live sessions here with you guys. I don't think this is worth anything. With no risk on the line, everybody's a hero. It's always easy to make money and hold your trades and, you know, do 47 things that you can't do when there's actual risk on the line. But just to talk about it again, in case you're living under a rock, Project X is down. Amazon Web Services down. I cannot access my Top 1 Futures live account. I can't access the other firm that I trade props with. I can access my personal live account, but I'm not in Discords with them. I don't have any real detailed information about the live broker that I use and or the data that I use, and I don't want to put risk on the line where I get into something with, you know, a lot of real money on the line immediately. All of the money in your account technically is risk capital, and I just don't feel like taking on that type of risk. I don't need to do that. Not gonna add a layer of risk like that on a day like today. I thought it might have just been Project X. I thought it might have just been some like smaller web services, but you know, if Delta Airlines had an issue today and like, you know, some small healthcare services had an issue, I think it's really reasonable to think a futures broker is gonna have an issue. So that's my 2 cents for today. Caution. Project X not working. Yeah, we talked about that. You guys are all over the place. But I think, honestly, on a day like today, right? On a day like today where this happens, you can just get outside, you can touch some grass, and for the most part, that's probably what I would do at this stage in my trading. But there's nothing wrong with just loading up a demo account or just throwing a position tool in the chart and, you know, demo trading it, right? You still get the experience, you still get the watching of the market, the how does this play out today? You know, would this have been a win or a loss? You know, what does this actually look like? You know, and you don't have to just completely wrap it up and go by the wayside. Like a lot of you guys talked about loading up demo accounts. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Load up a demo account, you know, trade, get your practice in. Maybe you use this time to review. Maybe you don't watch the live market. Maybe you go back through your journal and, you know, you take some time to review your trades, right? Put the work in. Maybe you read a book. You start reading Trading the Zone. You start reading Best Loser Wins. You start reading The Mental Game of Trading. Still use this time to get work in, to grind it out, which I'm going to be talking about more and more. Anyway, guys, I will be right back. Be right back. I'm gonna leave the Top 1 Futures 55% off screen up there if you guys want to check them out. Got 1 week for this one. 1 week. You guys want to check it out? Link is in the chat again. Be right back.
えてること分かってるみてえだな。分かんねえよ。しょっぱなから来いよ。本当にてめえが強えなら。
Back in action with you guys. Let's see. Monday tech issues. That's what we got today. Monday tech issues. Would be really cool if it's loaded back up for us and we can get a trade on. Would be really cool. Nah, still not working. Anybody's Project X working for them? Out of curiosity. I mean, I know you guys are on different spots, different places. Project X working for any of you guys? Or even better, you guys have any issues with other platforms today? Just out of curiosity. Like if you trade on Tradeovate, if you trade with Ninja, if you trade with any of them, do you guys start to have any issues with like any of the other big providers? Just out of curiosity. Obviously, Bookmap working okay over here. Nope. Jordan says nope to Project X. Yeah, not working for me either. Damn. Let me know. Let me know. Chatty chat.
Without the ones like you,
Why ads? Stop with the ads, guys. What is this? What is this nonsense? Flat day for me. What's up, Market Butcher? Yeah. It's a flat tech issue day. That's what I got going on. Tradeovate working. Nice.
You are watching a master at work.
Yeah, just to be clear, again, guys, this is not much for me to do. We've been watching the market, but Top 1 Futures now has an automated response going out as a reminder. All caps. Project X is not working correctly. Aware of the issue. Project X is aware of the issue. It's confirmed. It's being caused by the worldwide AWS outage. A lot of big companies impact. They're saying, please don't trade until we confirm the issue is fully fixed. So I'm not even going to put a trade on until they give the green light. So even once this loads back up, and I'm continually obviously refreshing Project X just so I can tell you guys as soon as it's back up. When they say something like that over and over and over again, if you hammer it, as soon as it comes back on at 11 o'clock right now or 10:48, you're running the risk of them saying, why were you hammering it after the fact? So, they have a ticket also, in case you guys missed that. They have a ticket, a specific form that you can fill out if you trade with Top 1 Futures and you had an issue on Project X today. I'd probably fill that out as soon as you possibly can. Tradeovate's working well. Tradeovate's working smoothly. Nice. Yeah, just to double check this, I'm looking Project X at another firm, not Top 1 Futures, and it's also not working. So yeah, guys, kind of a whack live session to start the week off. Just not being able to trade with the platform that I trade on. It is what it is. It happens. We talk about it. Honestly, I talk a lot about my approach to different things in trading, and maybe this is a good example of like how a trader might, if they're serious about trading, right? They're trading live accounts as well, might approach a day where there's big global outages. And for me, for the most part, that's just being really cautious. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm not just going to sit and wait for it to come back on and then look to take a trade. I think that's a crazy move. I'm not going to trade my live account, at least not yet. I'll wait to see what happens later into the day. Maybe this stuff comes back on. They clear it. We look for a trade. Maybe we get a live session going in the afternoon. I don't know. Maybe we double back. But, guys, I'm going to be live all week, 9:15. No giveaway today. We didn't even get to take trades. We didn't get to do nothing. No giveaway today, but I encourage you to be here tomorrow and the rest of the week. I think we got a lot of giveaways loaded up for the rest of the week, but you got to be on the live stream to get them. Obviously, free 99, free Discord, no course, no VIP, no nothing. Appreciate you guys for hopping on. If you want to check out Top 1 Futures, that link is in chat. You want to check out Bookmap over on the left-hand side, that link is in chat as well. You want to hop in the 100% free trading Discord, link is pinned to YouTube. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of the trading day. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Be safe today, guys. If you're on Project X, if you're on any other platform, if you're doing anything, inherent risk. Be careful today. Be careful today and accept that you might run into those issues. Please, if you do nothing else, run a fixed stop loss and take profit. Enter with a bracket. Talk to you guys soon. I'll keep you updated in Discord.